These are the 10 biggest one-season wonders in Premier League history. And first up, David Bentley spent £15 million to score one goal and disappear forever. Yeah, see when Tottenham paid Blackburn £15 million for Bentley in 2008. The hype was absolutely insane. Arsene Wenger had already let him leave Arsenal, calling him one of England's most gifted players. And Fabio Capello handed him his first England cap that same year. So Spurs fans thought they were getting the next Paul Scholes. And Bentley announced himself immediately. In just his second Premier League game, he scored one of the greatest goals of the entire season. A stunning 40-yard volley against Arsenal that left Manuel Almunia completely frozen. The internet went crazy. Every TV channel in England replayed it for weeks straight. But that goal was literally the highlight of his entire Tottenham career. His performances got worse every single week. He lost his starting spot, and within 2 seasons, he was being shipped out on loan to Birmingham, then West Ham, then Rostov in Russia. He retired at just 29 years old, and later admitted he'd completely fallen out of love with football. One wonder goal, then nothing. £15 million, gone. But that's nothing compared to what happened to Diego Forlan. Because Manchester United paid £7.5 million for a striker who went 27 games without scoring a single Premier League goal. 27 games. Nothing. A defender stopped marking him. Fans stopped expecting anything. Even Sir Alex Ferguson ran out of excuses defending his signing in press conferences. But here's where it gets crazy. Forlan never stopped working. He kept his head down, or trained harder than anyone. And when his goals finally came, he scored twice against Liverpool at Anfield and twice against Chelsea. United still sold him to Villarreal in 2004, thinking they were done with him. Then Forlan won the European Golden Shoe twice, finished third in the 2010 Ballon d'Or, won the World Cup Golden Ball at South Africa 2010. The Premier League had him and got absolutely nothing. Spain got him and watched him become a legend. Like, United fans still can't talk about it without crying. Now, Hernan Crespo's story is different. Because he didn't flop, he just got betrayed by his own manager. Roman Abramovich paid £16.8 million to bring the Argentine striker from Inter Milan to Chelsea in 2003. And Crespo started brilliantly, scoring 10 Premier League goals and looking sharp and dangerous all season. But then Jose Mourinho arrived and told Chelsea's board straight up he didn't want Crespo. Just like that. The manager decided that he wasn't physical enough, wasn't a presser enough, didn't fit his system. Within months, Crespo was loaned to AC Milan, then Inter Milan, and never wore a Chelsea shirt again. 10 goals, 0 respect. Mourinho didn't even give him a chance. Then there's El Hadji Diouf, who arrived at Liverpool as the reigning African Player of the Year, and somehow became the most disliked player in the entire Premier League within 12 months. Gerard Houllier paid £10 million for him after his incredible 2002 World Cup, where he was terrorizing defenders and scoring brilliant goals. Liverpool fans were buzzing. Then Diouf showed up and scored 6 league goals in 2 entire seasons. 6. He clashed with teammates, got banned for spitting at a Celtic fan during a UEFA Cup tie, and his own manager called him a massive disappointment publicly. Crazy part, he was genuinely world-class just months before signing. Premier League defenders figured him out immediately, and his confidence never recovered. Liverpool shipped him to Bolton and pretended the whole thing never happened. Now Faustino Asprilla was different. Because he wasn't really a flop, he was just pure beautiful chaos that nobody could control. When Newcastle signed the Colombian from Parma in 1996, Kevin Keegan's side were top of the league and looking unstoppable. Asprilla brought flair, unpredictability, and moments of genius that St. James's Park had never seen before. His hat trick against Barcelona in the Champions League in 1997 was still talked about on Tyneside today. 3 goals against one of the world's greatest clubs. Newcastle fans thought they'd found their missing piece. But for every wonder goal, there was a moment of complete madness. He'd score something incredible, then get sent off the very next game. Stories of his wild lifestyle and late nights in Newcastle became legendary. Kenny Dalglish eventually had enough and sold him back to Parma. Genius and chaos in equal measure. The Premier League never knew what to do with him. Juninho, though, was just straight up too good for everything around him. The tiny Brazilian arrived at Middlesbrough in 1995 for £4.75 million and immediately looked like he was from another planet. His close control, vision, and ability to glide past tackles made him unmatchable on his day. He dragged Middlesbrough to the League Cup and FA Cup finals in 1997, almost completely by himself. Brazil called him up to the national team while he was playing for a mid-table English club. Let that sink in. Then Middlesbrough got relegated and couldn't keep him. Atletico Madrid came and took him away. What the Premier League got one magical season from one of the most gifted players it ever saw, and then let him walk straight out the door. Paolo Di Canio was a different story, because his one incredible season at West Ham came wrapped in so much controversy that it's impossible to separate the genius from the madness. The Italian forward was absolutely unplayable during the 1999 to 2000 season, scoring 16 goals and creating one of the most entertaining attacking displays the Premier League had ever seen. His volley against Wimbledon in 2000 is still considered one of the greatest goals in Premier League history, but Di Canio had already been banned for pushing referee Paul Alcock to the ground at Sheffield Wednesday. He clashed with everyone around him constantly. His genius and his madness were completely inseparable. After that one brilliant season, injuries and age caught up with him, and he was never the same force again. And if these stories of players who burned bright and vanished are blowing your mind, then smash that subscribe button right now, because the top 3 are on a completely different level. Fernando Torres cost Chelsea £50 million and then forgot how to score overnight. That's not an exaggeration. After being absolutely lethal at Liverpool, when with 81 goals in 142 appearances, Torres joined Chelsea and went 903 minutes without scoring a single Premier League goal. 903 minutes. He'd miss open goals, hit the post from 2 yards, and looked nothing like the player who terrorized defenses just months earlier. The memes were endless, yet the criticism was brutal. £50 million for 903 minutes of silence. He eventually scored 22 Premier League goals across 3 seasons at Chelsea, but the Torres that Liverpool fans loved never showed up at Stamford Bridge, not even close. Now, if Torres was a shock, then Andriy Shevchenko was genuinely baffling. Chelsea paid £30 million for the reigning Ballon d'Or winner in 2006, the actual best player on the planet, a man who'd scored 173 goals for AC Milan and destroyed every defender in Europe. Then he arrived at Chelsea and scored 9 Premier League goals in 2 entire seasons. 9. For the world's best striker. He looked slow, unconfident, and completely lost. Mourinho publicly admitted he didn't even want to sign him, and reports claimed Abramovich personally pushed the deal through. The greatest striker of his generation, reduced to 9 Premier League goals. The Premier League broke him completely. But the #1 spot belongs to Juan Sebastián Verón, because his story is the most fascinating on this entire list. Ferguson paid £28 million for the Argentine in 2001, calling him the best midfielder in the world. The press destroyed him every single week. Fans turned on him. Chelsea bought him for £15 million, and he barely played there either. Then Verón went back to Argentina with Estudiantes and became arguably the greatest player in their history. Won the Copa Libertadores in 2009 at 34 years old and lifted the trophy as captain. Like the same player the Premier League called too slow and too fancy, was dominating South American football into his mid-30s. The Premier League didn't break Verón, it just never figured him out. And that right there makes him the biggest one-season wonder in Premier League history.